And I am coming to you from Wisconsin. We'll see if we have sound. Let me get my other device going here. And I am coming to you. Oh, I do have sound, but I also have this one on high speed. Let me get my other device going here. Oh, I do have sound, but I also have this one on high speed. Welcome. Hello, Tanya. Okay, I think we're good to go. It's been a little crazy the last few days. Tanya, I don't know if you were here. I can't get my iPad to cooperate. So anyway, welcome. We've had some sound issues the last few nights. So last night and tonight, I just automatically rebooted my phone because that seems to have corrected it. How are you doing, Tanya? Survived Christmas? Hopefully. We have one more Christmas gathering, but that's not until next week. Hello, Yuda. How are you today? I feel bad that I missed the comments yesterday, Yuda. And I wish you would have not deleted them because it's all good. All right? So, I know folks will take a few minutes to get on here, so I'll just quickly go over my couple of standard announcements. December 1st, my online store got a different name. So latenightLori.stampinup.net is easier to spell than LoriMacari.stampinup.net. Hello, Nicole. Welcome. Welcome from Perth, Australia. And it is like 1 in the afternoon by you, right? I'm just looking at my little cheat sheet off to the side of me here. Perth is 13 hours ahead of us, so. Hey, Juju. So we're just after midnight here. I actually made it on Saturday, December 27th, just before it hit midnight. So I do have to say I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. So Tanya, you are, yeah, you're in New Zealand, so you're 19 hours ahead of us. So welcome, welcome everybody. We're gonna fly by the seat of our pants tonight because I did not take the time to prep very much ahead of time. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so if you have fun, give me a thumbs up. I'd love it. Feel free to share. If you've not already subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to grow my audience here. But there's my new store. We won't linger. We have a new catalog starting January 6th. Until that time, I cannot open up the catalog for you, but I can share with you some of the products that I have received in my pre-order, and I can show you, let's make a funny card. Okay, well, we'll see what we can do. I can show you projects and products that I have from that catalog. If you do not have a demonstrator, if you are not a demonstrator and you would like a catalog, let me know. Product of the month. This started December, like 2nd, early in the month. We are almost ending. So it's 2:04. Oh, I wonder if, why did I think you were just 13 hours ahead of us, which would put you at 1 o'clock. But if you're 2 o'clock, that would mean you're 14 hours. I wonder if that's because of our time change. we'll change that to 14 hours. I'll figure it out someday. Someday we'll get it figured out. So, product of the month started first part of December with a qualifying purchase, which in the United States is $75. Before tax and shipping, you have the option of adding a product of the month that's exclusive to that month for just $5. This month it happened to be this beautiful True Blue Florals Designer Series paper. We've made a bunch of cards with that. If you'd like to see some of those, go ahead and watch some of the last videos. I usually do really good with military time, but I think it's because of our time change. That's what I'm guessing. Because I did have plus 13 hours, now it's plus 14, and we did change an hour with our time change. So anyway, I believe that product of the month is still available. The early part of January now, we will get a new product for January that's exclusive. If there's any, so your Western Standard Time, Sydney, Melbourne is 3 hours ahead. Yeah, and I have Melbourne is 17 hours ahead of us. So that would be 3 hours ahead of you. All right, I'll cross off that 13. Of course, when we go back to the spring, it's going to change again because then our clocks will go forward and then we'll be that 13 hours again. So, Utah, 10:05, Saturday night. Yeah, well, it's just after midnight for me. So you still have a couple of hours of Saturday left. Most of us are starting to roll into Sunday. So if you are a demonstrator, we've got On Stage coming up. If you're thinking about going, get yourself registered before January 16th, if there is still space available. That is a very fun convention for demonstrators only. Virtual card retreat, January 22nd, 23rd. I'll have a watch party here if you're local to me. Buy the kit, let me know, we'll play. All right, and then this is the paper that we used last night. And what did I do with it last night? Oh, I just stamped the sentiment on it. Let me go get those two cards. I finally caught up with the comments. And what happened, and I explained to a couple of you on a sidebar, is when I scroll up through some of my comments, if I don't scroll all the way down to where the most current stuff is, it just sits there. It doesn't show me that there's more. So that was my fault last night. But you guys had fun without me, so that's all fun. That's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it because I probably would have been laughing. But nobody liked my card, hey? Nobody liked the cards. What did I do with, oh, here. This, because it wasn't my idea. Which one do you like better? The Stampin' Up! Sample or the version that I ended up creating solo because I couldn't hear anybody's comments? Oh, I couldn't read anybody's comments because I couldn't hear them anyway. Starting in January, I'm going to try to do a Zoom with my team so that we can actually see and talk to each other and have little team meetings. All right, so I tried to make it palatable, but you still didn't care for it, huh? And then this was the one that I used those extra bits on the sides. Use the gingerbread dies to make green and red M&M treat holders. Oh, I bet that sounds fun. That sounds fun, Nicole. You should find one of my gingerbread posts on my Facebook page and add a picture of your guys. Very fun. So, anyway, those are my cards. And let me just put that back away. I actually kind of liked them in person. Modified, slightly edited. But that's okay. You don't have to like them. I'm all right with that. My feelings are not hurt. It takes more than that to hurt my feelings. Yeah, some people like that broken look and some people don't. I kind of like it depending on the design. Sometimes it just looks, I don't know, broken up. Well, thanks, Yuda. You know, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being really not so much, 10 being, yeah, I think I would try that. Tell me what you think of those cards. Either one of them. It doesn't matter. I don't care which one. Or you could put 0 if you hung around just to be nice. The design works, just not the... Okay, so Nicole, you really like it. Nice. I had somebody else post on my Facebook that they liked him because I did actually post them last night. Or, yeah, early yesterday morning. All right, so Juju, not so much. Fair enough. I'm just looking to see what the lowest number is going to be, if it's going to be 0 or 1. It's interesting to see what people's tastes are, you know, because we all have different crafting style, and I'm all right with that. Just like I'm not a junk journal person. I don't even know where to begin. So, yeah, there's that. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try it. I will someday, maybe in January. All right, so we got a 3, we got a 10. And Nicole, I'm looking back at your comment. I'm not touching my screen, though. I'm just letting it sit there. I'm not going to lose comments again. Although tonight I think I would probably remember from yesterday if I didn't see him. I know, you said you put the truck in the tree. So I tried to go back and watch yesterday's live for you, but it must not have been on that one. I got to track down which one it was on. Was it the day before? Maybe you've got a date for me. I want to go and see what you did with it. I'm very curious to see what you did with it, because that'll be fun. All right, so I don't know how we can make this one funny. Juju, if you want to make it funny, maybe I should start drinking some Tipico or something, a little bit of rum. All right, so this is that designer series paper that's special. I'm going to try to scroll in a little bit. So we've got 2 textured designs. Let me turn on my other light and see if this works. So we have this just, I don't know if you can see that. So this is just like a nubby texture, like a linen-y, and this is stripes. So I don't know how well that shows. Does anybody have this paper? You get just the 2 textures in the pack, and you get 3 of each. Yeah, you get 3 of each one. So I cut these 8.5 by 5.5. I scored them at my 4 1/4, and they score really nice and clean. So it makes a nice flat line in there, so you don't get, excuse me, you don't get any nubbies for that score line, which is nice. But you do also have to kind of be careful when you go to burnish your edge, because you can flatten out that design. So you want to just kind of make sure you're pushing on the very edge of there. So I'm not sure which one we're going to do. So I just cut a card base out of each one. And then I have some scraps here. So I thought if we do some color blending, some ink blending, we can use the scraps. So Nicole, you weren't here yesterday. You went out dancing. How fun. So you walked home from the train station because there weren't any buses. Well, at 10:30 at night, I suppose not. We don't have buses at, well, we don't have any buses by me. We don't have any public transportation out by me, but I have lived in places where we've got transportation. But buses not usually at 10:30. Subways maybe, like when I've been to New York. That does sound like fun. Very fun. All right, and then welcome Zippity. I did not check that Team Collab LLBC, but that's a good idea. I'm going to try that in my comments, I think, today. We'll see. Because I didn't put any comments because I didn't want to be late. So these are some designs from some demonstrator paper. You could only get this as a demonstrator if you sold a certain number of kits. Was that November? Does anybody remember? I think that was November. We had the kits challenge. And I sold enough kits, so I was able to get this paper. And this is called Striped and Dotted. So I thought we would use some of this. We could just do something plain and simple. What color do we like? We've got Lost Lagoon in dots or stripes. Can you see those designs? Yeah, you can see those designs. We've got Darling Duckling. We've got Petal Pink. I think that's Petal Pink. Yep, Petal Pink. And then Calypso Coral. They are kind of Easter colors-ish. Oh, you usually have buses run that late. Just not because of the holiday, huh? Interesting. All right, what are you mixing with Dr. Pepper? What did I miss? The coral and the pink. Those are two colors that I thought worked well together. And then we have to decide if we're going to use dotted or striped, because I think these textured papers, Nut Buster Peanut Butter Whiskey, I have never heard of it. I've done Jack Daniels is whiskey, right? Whiskey and lemonade in the summer when it's super hot here. All right, so we'll do the dots. We'll do some dots. This pretty and pink one might be a good one to stamp a sentiment on. So you've never done whiskey, or just not the Nut Buster Peanut Butter Whiskey? That's the one you've never heard of till tonight? Well, who turned you on to that? Your military son that just came home? He's probably too young to drink though still, right? All right, I'm going to put these other colors out of the way. See, I called that one your son. Put those out of the way. And I'm just going to cut down a couple of strips that are 4 inches. And then I'll get these others out of the way. So we'll do 4 inches, because that way I can get 3 stripes out of this if I want to, or 3 strips. And then I'm just going to cut this to 6 so we can decide if we're going to use dots or stripes. Sometimes it's fun to just start cutting up the paper. All right, so there's those. All right. So I think these coordinate actually pretty well together, dots and the stripes. And then if we use these for our card bases, this paper is, like I said yesterday, it's pretty sturdy. It's not like a designer series paper. It's almost like a cardstock. And then we'll need a flat piece inside. So then what we have to do, I'm shedding on my mat here. Then what we have to do is decide, do we want to do stripes on one and dots on the other? We may as well make 2 of them, right? The coral and the pretty and pink, or should we mix and match? Oh, that might be fun. Mix and match, yes? Mix and match. Okay, cool. So this one is dots. This one is stripes for my base. So let's do, should we do the stripes first? So there's that. And we got stripes going here. We were gifted a custom bottle, 70 proof whiskey. So we're good if we need to disinfect again. Perfect. Yeah, a friend of ours, well, the fellow that I used to work with at the college, we both retired at the same time. He purchased a barrel of whiskey in Tennessee. There must be some distillery there that's pretty good. So he has like a private label on his bottles because it matured now. And he gave MacMan a bottle for Christmas, which I thought was very nice. MacMan has not opened it yet, but all right. So striped, very good. And then here's my striped sample. So if we get some Calypso Coral, I'm just going to show you, whoops, we're going to see what it looks like. Jack Daniels, okay. Is that what I said, I think I said Jack Daniels. We're going to do some Calypso Coral, and this is just a scrap. And it looks like I might need to re-ink this soon. I'll tell him you told him to do that, Juju. Let me get a scrap here. So it doesn't really pick up the stripes as much as I thought it would. I guess it does a little bit if I make it darker here. And then here's my scrap with the dots. So it's surprising how well it picks up the color, even though it's textured. So that's just how that ink blending will look on those. It doesn't look any different to me really than having basic white cardstock. So this is dots, this is stripes. Well, this is kind of dots. And that's kind of stripes. That one's definitely stripes. What if you drag the ink pad over it? Well, let's see. Oh, that's a cool effect. Oh, Yuda, you are onto something there. That is fun. All right, so do we want to do that all over the stripes or just part of it? Now, here's what I thought we could do. I'm going to close this ink pad so I don't get, oh, you probably can't see that, but it turned out really cool. Let me zoom this in a little bit. So there's the dots. Can you see how fun that is? And then there's the stripes. I think you can maybe see. That looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, and it dries really well. So there's, yeah, it dried really well. I wasn't sure if I'd have to use like my heat gun to dry set that because it's papery. It's not really shimmery, but it seems to have like a different finish on it. So you can tell it's really textured. And then this one, that one's really textured too. That's the dot one. So let's move this back out a little bit. All right, so what I was thinking was we could take our designer series paper and cut down a layer. I'd probably want to cut it kind of small so that we don't lose the texture here, right? The texture goes all the way through, but still, I don't want to lose all that texture. And then if we use these leaves, I really liked these yesterday. Remember, oh, not that one, this one. If we cut it down, so let's say we used either one of these, not the green, but hang with me here. If we cut the foliage out of our designer series paper, cut this down, we could put a layer behind so that you'd have that cut out, and then the leaves we could put on the other paper. Does that make sense? So our cutout would be one, and then the die cut items would be on the next card. Does that make sense? So one would be the whole, and one would be the fill. What do you think? And then we could put whatever sentiment we want on another piece of this. I'll get new pieces because there's definitely a front and a back side. Cool. Two for cards are fun. I agree. And this was an idea I got from Shannon West recently. I don't remember when she did it, a week or two ago. She had done a card, and I think she may have used this die. I don't remember. But she didn't use this paper. So I don't think it's really going to matter which one we use, because either way, we're going to alternate them for the second card, right? So I guess if we do this as our background piece, and then this for the top piece, I kind of like the bolder colors. What do you think? Right, alternate the patterns. That's what I was going to say. Do we want to do stripes for the leaves or dots for the leaves? The coral stripes for the leaves. All right, so let's see. I should be able to use little Betsy here. I'll have to trim that down just a little bit more because the die will fit. It's just my paper's a little too thick. It's got to be just 3 inches. So I've got this first cutting plate backed off about 1/2 inch, and then the top cutting plate I'm going to put up about 1/2 inch because then the machine pulls it through a little easier. We haven't talked about that much lately, but I think all of you are usually here when I talk about that anyway. All right. Oh, except that was silly because now I can't really use this one for my cutout because it's too small. Maybe not. I'll use my big machine for the next one so we can decide. See, sometimes I just don't think far enough ahead. It'll still work out. All right, so let's get that out of there. So there's our stripedy one. That looks pretty cool. So that'll be there. And then here, I'm thinking we'll do the full length of the card. What do you think? And then we can either make the coral piece bigger, and I'll do it again because I wasn't thinking ahead. Because this one's going to go here. Either this way or this way. Let me cut that down to 5.5. Because either way, we need that one to be at 5.5 or less. So if we did a full-length card, we could either do it portrait or landscape. I don't usually like to do landscape this way, but it would be fine. So that could go like that. We could do a couple of those if you'd like. Or the sample that I'm looking at, we could also stamp this on our designer series paper and then have them layered like so. Does that make sense? So if we did like this branch here, inked, and then that on there, and then like this one says, "You make me smile." If we did a circle with our stylish shape dies, that could be our sentiment. That one would be too small. So we could do a "Make You Smile" and put that on there. What do you think? And put that over there with, I don't know, some kind of flourish or ribbon or something. Who's got some ideas? Because if we do this on the textured paper, let me get this on a block so I don't lose it. It's kind of messy. We'll do it prettier later. And then if we do leave the striped leaves, right? Do we want it together though? Do we want the image of these other leaves stamped on that designer series paper? I don't think I used this stamp before. There we go. Can you use a blending tool? Yes. Just ink blend on the textured one, or oh, so that didn't come out quite so well. It's stamped better on this paper when I did it yesterday. To help with the lines from the pad. Well, if I do ink blending, I don't know if the lines will show up quite as much, because I did some ink blending here and then I dragged the ink pad over it. It does accentuate them a little bit. See, look at the difference in how these stamp the sentiment. So the one with the stripes, it didn't pick up the words quite as well as just the nubby one. So I think we can put the sentiment on the nubby one, but not on the striped paper. We can still use that as our base. So up top, the ink pad for the dark lines. Oh, that would be cut out anyway. Is that what you're worried about? This would be cut out anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I probably could have used some ink blending to maybe minimize that look. I think it's still going to show up quite a bit though. But that would be cut out. But I don't think I want to stamp the sentiment on there because the sentiment's not coming through very nice. Let's try it one more time because this is just our scrappy one. And let me get my Pearson mat and see if that makes a difference. Let me back this off again. Try and make sure that's nice and inked. I don't know if I should press harder or just let it suck it in. Can I do a raised sentiment? All right, would you consider stamping the leaf pattern over the inking and sentiment in the timid, like the Calypso Coral, or do you mean Timid Tiger? Because this is actually Calypso Coral. Yeah, the striped one doesn't take the sentiment very well. So let me try it on the back side. Although I did just notice something kind of cool. I'll show you in just a second. Let's see how this one goes. So we still got that, but now this left stripes on my stamp. You can almost see it. It left stripes on the stamp, kind of like a kissing technique. All right, so let's get back on track. So we're not going to be able to do the sentiment on the stripy specialty paper. Not a big deal. What do I do with the lid? All right, so would I consider stamping the leaf pattern over the inking? I'm not sure I understand exactly what we mean. So this leaf pattern, let me put this on a block. So the same colors I'm using, the Calypso Coral. Okay, and stamp, let me get rid of this. So Calypso Coral. Oops, I smudged. Where's my other piece? Here's my other piece. All right. So we'll use that one for the stripes. All right, so let's see. Would you consider stamping the leaf pattern over the inking and sentiment in the timid? So the inking I could do, I think you're talking about on this page. That doesn't show at all. There's too much ink picking up on the stripes. So what if I get another piece of striped? I'm gonna get my card bases out of the way here so I don't mess them up. Okay, so here's some stripes. This gives me a cool striped effect though. Can you see that on the stamp? Can you see how that's striped on there from the texture of the paper? I just want to see how that looks. Because it gives us a kind of a striped design. Look at that. How cool is that? Can you see that pretty good? I'm waiting for my, oh yeah, you can see that really good. You can also see how dry my fingers, my skin is. That is really slick. what do we want to do with that? So let's say we're using our striped card. We use our Calypso Coral. Let me close this so I don't make a mess. It's been so long since I've done that technique, but you can also do that with stamps. So we're kind of getting off track of what I wanted to create, which is fine. We could still do it because this will cut out this piece. Do we want that cut out, or do we want to leave it trimmed on a nice piece of white? Because I do have a die for this. Zoom out, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Is that far enough? So I've got a die for this. We've got this textured paper here. We could do either one of these, that piece, and then You Make Me Smile with some more texture. And then I don't even know if we want to use this or not. Hi, Lori, welcome. So now that piece is almost covering up that beautiful accidentally striped foliage piece there. So we can't see the stripes on there. Let me get another piece of that texture paper out of here. And let me cut this down here. All right, so let's do some Calypso Coral ink blending on this. This is the nubby one. Is that too far? My iPad's a little behind, so I can't tell where I was. Right. All right, so there's our nubby piece. And I like how that sentiment color is gradient. So do you want me to do darker, like on the top more? It's actually a little darker on that side. Do you want it darker and then lighter to the bottom? Because I can certainly do that. I kind of got it too light in the middle there, but some of our words are going to go there, so. Like so. Does that seem dark enough? How's that? Like a Texas sunset. Maybe I need to put some pretty in pink in there, or some petal pink. Of course, I usually do the lighter before I do the darker. I don't know if that'll show up very much. So that's petal pink off on that side. we could add another color. So this is the petal pink on this side. And that's more the Calypso Coral. Maybe I should do more Calypso Coral all the way to the side. But if we stamp, You Make Me Smile, it'll go from light to dark or darker to lighter. Or do I need to like add some yellow in there? Or are we good with just those two colors? Because I've got Darling Duckling here also. And it's only paper, so if we don't like it, I can always do another one. Add a little yellow to the middle. Would embossing the words help make it clearer to read? I'm almost afraid that the embossing powder might congregate in the divots. I could try it. You don't know till you try. Because the Versamark is not going to get in there any better than the ink did. So I'm not sure. The words on the nubby one are fine. It's the words on the striped one that the ink is just not getting in there enough because there's more texture. What do we think with the yellow? Do we like the Darling Duckling in there? And then the sentiment would go somewhere in here. Yeah, I can certainly still try it, Lori, and see if it works. I'm just going to close up some of my colors so I don't get an inky mess all over. How's that for the sentiment piece for here? And are we going to go with this? You like the yellow in there? Cool. Are we going to go with this one blocked or die cut? All right, and then, so do we want the yellow on top of the words? Or the yellow on the bottom where the smile would be? Of course, we have to figure out where this is going to go. Yellow on the top or the bottom? Yellow on the top. All right, so Lori, I won't try it here, but I'll probably still try it just for kicks on my own. All right, so if we're going to put this here-ish. And because this is textured, I'm going to let it just kind of hold a little bit longer. Oh, I didn't really think about an apricot. Yeah. Try it. Yeah, I want to see what happens too. So that looks spectacular. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this little puppy out. I can bring in my little one. Let me clean this off because if we use the Versamark and embossing powder, I don't want to get black on my Versamark. And I may as well clean this off too. All right, so are we going to leave this blocked or die cut? Do we know? Or are there too many choices going on right now? So this is petal pink. I gotta keep some of my inks in order here too. basil paper or dazzle paper. Stampin' Up! Had that dazzle paper. And I, with that, if it's what I'm thinking, I spritzed mine. You like it like that? I think it makes it kind of pop. I'm going to cut this a little narrower though. Let's cut this out first. Let me get that out of the way. That looks so cool. Very cool. All right, and then this we need to trim down a little bit. It wasn't quite square, it was just a scrap. I'm going to cut just a smidge more off of there. All right. And then this piece, oh, not die cut. Yeah, I missed that top lock. I might have missed your comment anyway. So if we do this, so do we want this side, if we're going with our stripes and our stripes and our stripes, I think that's a cool motif. I'm going to go ahead and trim this one a little narrower because right now it's at 4. I'm going to go to 3 3/4. And then we need to do 5 1/2. Because I think it'll look good top to bottom because, you know, stripes make us look wide when we're going that way. So we'll make it look more slender by cutting it a little narrower. And then we've got the stripes of this kind of going at a diagonal. We've got this coming here. Should I cut part of this corner off so it doesn't show? So that that sits up a little higher. And do we want to ink? Do we want to ink that white texture piece at all? Or is that too much stripiness going on? I could always try to ink it in the petal pink and see if that looks good enough. Let me get this out of the way. I need a scrap. What did I just do with my scrap? Oh, it's under here. Duh. Keep it light. Let me get another piece of that. Oh, here we go. Lower the circle, add 2 ribbon pieces sticking out from the circle. Okay, that sounds like a plan. That's pretty dark too, but let's see how that looks under here. So this piece is going to go on our other card. All right. Lower the circle. And then, let's see. I have Timid Tiger, and while that's not Calypso Coral, I think it might look okay. Do we want this to have like a loop coming out the top and the bottom, or just the pieces coming out of the bottom? No ink on the base. That almost looks like it's supposed to be like an award banner. Now the other thing, do I need to do a little bit of ink blending around those edges so that they don't look quite so stark? Or just edge it with the ink pad? And do we want this to come out of the top and the bottom? Or just out of the bottom? One on white, one on stripe. I don't know what you mean. One on white. Oh, so like a ribbon under here? Oh, I don't get it. Or do you mean like ribbon here? Hi, Bonnie. Welcome. I don't know if that's what you meant. I don't think so. I don't think that's what you meant. All right, Bonnie, if there's going to be any wisecracks, I'm up to speed on the comments tonight, just so you know. All right, I'm trying to figure out, Lori, what you mean by the ribbon. To the right, having, okay, under the circle. Like so. So one on the white and one like so. There we go. Do I get it now? I'm going to cover up my ink. Like you had it before. Pointing north, east, and south. North, east, south. Not south. All right, so up like so to kind of fill in that white spot. What are we thinking? Is that working that way? All right, so Lynn's saying yes. Bonnie's saying lose the ribbon. Anybody else? Nicole likes the ribbon. All right, that's 2 to 1. I'm kind of thinking the ribbon goes down though. What do you think? Zippity says keep the ribbon. All right, so ribbon up or down? Up 4 down. All right, so we're 3 to 2. 3 to yes the ribbon, 2 to no ribbon. Hi, Bon Bon, welcome. We are flying by the seats of our pants tonight. We had no real plan. Well, I kind of had a plan, but we are so off that plan path. We might go back to that plan path. We'll see. We're going to kind of go back to the plan path. All right, so Bon Bon, no ribbon. So we're tied on the ribbon, I think. I think that's 3 and 3. And Yuta says horizontal on the ribbon. I kind of like the ribbon, but I don't really want to have to be the tiebreaker here. Oh, there's going to be gems too. Because I don't think the ribbon is enough. I think we need a few gems as well. But now I just have to decide what gems to use. We might have to color some. Oh, we might not. We could probably use these Timid Tiger ones. This is Calypso Coral, but Timid Tiger or Calypso Coral, it's close enough. Okay, so ribbon on the back burner, but you hate orange, so you're not going to like it anyway. But it would be fine if it was blue. So just envision it in blue. Because there is blue paper for this. Oh, it's Lost Lagoon. It's more like a dirty turquoise. All right, so you'd put white ribbon on top of the orange. All right, let's see what I have. I don't have any current white ribbon. I have some basic beige. That is not going to work. I have some Darling Duckling. That would kind of go with the yellow in our little, was that a Texas sunset? I don't remember whose sunset we were looking at. Let's just see here. So if we lose that, that kind of draws out the yellow of the sunset colors. And I think I need to take that corner off of there just so I can have my smile sentiment up a little bit higher so that I get all of this yellow up on the white, because I think it looks better on the white. What do you think? Too many chefs in the kitchen. Too many cooks in the kitchen. I hear ya. That's part of the fun. It's part of the chaos. All right. Gold. I don't have gold ribbon. And we don't have any other gold in here. What do we think with the Darling Duckling? Because there is some yellow up here in our Sunset Smile piece. You go for it, Juju. You get another drink. I'm going to take another sip of water. Or 3. Maybe blend in more yellow. Okay, let me find... Where did my yellow go? There it is. Well, she always says that too, that she doesn't know what the hell she's doing either. I try not to swear, but that's what she says. I'm just quoting it, right? All right. So let's put some more yellow in here. Brighten that up a little bit more even. Usually I would do the lighter first because we already put the Calypso Coral on there. But I think it'll be all right. Is that better? Is that enough yellow? Darling duckling. Or should I maybe cut this in all kinds of little stripes and then separate the pieces, Juju? I'm kidding. So what do we think of that? Is that kind of working? I just saw your God no, Juju. That's funny. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on here. Let me also cover up my ink. And we did stripes, yeah. Add a few gems. Yep, definitely. I know, just glue it already. Get these cooks out of the kitchen. I need to put just a little bit more glue behind here. Yeah, I get a little flustered when there's too many cooks in my kitchen, the real kitchen. Even if they're trying to help clean up or something, it's just a bit much. So, what do I need to do? Do I need to do anything on the edges here? Should I put color on them to make that stand out a little bit more? Just dip it in my ink pad? Or blend around the edges? And I am going to snip just a corner off of here, just so I'm not going to accidentally have a corner hanging out from my circle, because that would be my luck. I would get everything attached and then I would see a little itty bitty bit of white sticking out there. All right, so edge these or not? Okay, Juju, are you yanking my chain there? Go with Nicole. Yeah, glue it already. Clean edges, clean edges. All right, we'll leave the edges clean. So I'm just going to, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put that kind of up there. All right, and then we're gonna do that kind of like so. Whoops, where'd that go? I'm gonna trim this at just a little deeper angle. There we go. Nope, my chat's not frozen. I see you now, Robert. Welcome. All right, and then this is going to go up on dimensionals for sure, but I need to put a little bit more seal on here. All right, dimensionals, here we come. Yeah, sometimes I like the seal, sometimes not so much. It's pretty strong, so if I need to move something, I sometimes regret that I've used it. If you don't set it down all the way, it's not so bad. It's just with me, when I set it down, it's like, that's where I want it, I'm done. All right, let's get this out of the way. All right, I'm just going to flip up these corners just a little bit so it looks like they're supposed to be up there. I don't know. All right, and then let's do a few of these gems here. Let me get my Take Your Pick tool again. Maybe that'll work for you, Juju. All right, so, 1, 2, and 3. I'm almost out of those. There. Like it or not, here we are. All right. Oh, let me get rid of this plate. Okay. All right. Phew. That was a little bit of effort, but it was good. I like it. All right, so let's go back to this card then, because this is the one that has the nubbies on it. It's like a tweed. Now, if we use this one, do we want to use the stripes again? Or, so here we're going to cut, we're not going to cut this one out. I need to do another one where I do a cutout. Let's do, what happened to my die? All right, I got to get some of this stuff out of the way. Some of our experimentation needs to get out of the way. All right, and I got to make sure this time I cut it with Bossy Bessie. Because otherwise my piece is going to be too small. All right, I like that one. All right, let's bring in Bossy Bessie. Goodbye, Robert. I will likely be here on New Year's. We do not go out and party. We don't have any plans as of right now. That could change. But we don't have any plans now. All right, do we want to do dots or stripes on this one? Now this is going to go with this piece. Bonbon, you have a date? Ooh. You'll have to tell us all about it. So this is the petal pink. This is the Calypso coral that got striped from this paper, right? So do we want to put stripes on stripes or stripes on dots? Okay, who's Team Joe? Stripes on stripes. Okay. We're going to go with it, or we're going to be here like all night long. All right. Oh, now we got dots. All right, we got stripes. Stripes. on stripes or stripes on dots? So Bonnie, you had a better looking date than everybody last night in Springfield. What were you doing last night in Springfield? Dots. So we got dots, dots, stripes on dots. I think dots are winning. All right. So I'm going to go like this. Let's kind of center that though, huh? I think that's pretty close. Don't ask Bonnie, or don't ask what? Okay, so Bon, you have a friend named Joe. Oh, yeah, my daughter has one of those. She has a friend that would be happy to be like a friend with benefits, and she's like, I just want a friend. All right, so this one I'm going to hang on to because that can go on a different card. And this one is going to go like here with, I need another piece of Calypso Coral. So this one is going to do, this one's going to go like this, right? And I need to trim that down just a little bit. I got a smudge in there. I got to cut a new piece of that. Wishful thinking. Wrong, Bonnie. Okay. As if I wasn't confused enough. All right, so we're going to do, let's start with 4 inches. And we're going to go 5.5. I'm going to get this out of here because that one's smudged. We're going to have to go down a little bit smaller. So we're going to go down to 3 3/4. And then this can go on here like so. So that we're kind of making our 2-for card now. All right, so that'll go like that. Let me get another card base. 5.5. Or insert the other piece. I could if I wanted to do some paper piecing. I'm kind of reverting back to what the original card was going to be. So this one I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to crease that, and then I'm going to cut off the extra so that I didn't have to measure my 8.5. All right, so there's that. Then this can go, I need another piece of the dark. Three 3/4. 5.5. All right, let's see if I can get us back on track. So here's this. Let me burnish this edge. We're going back to our 2-for card. This one was a bonus because I got sidetracked with that stripes on that stamp. All right. So then this, I don't think I like that with the stripes. I think I like it with the dots. So what do you think of that? That's with stripes. Or that with dots. Personally, I think the dots look better. What do you think? All right, so the date with Joe would be G-rated. Yeah, the dots I think look better. So I'm going to trim this one just a little bit smaller. Whoops. Trim it, not score it. All right. All right, so this would go here. This will go here raised up. And then we still need to do like a sentiment or something. I think maybe I need to make this smaller though. That seems kind of big because we're not seeing much of the white textured card at all. The textured card base. Of course that stripes. Maybe I should go back to the nubby one. That's the striped one. I need the nubby one. I'm getting there. All right, here's a nubby one. Flip the top like this, you mean? Flip the top. Oh, this one. I get it. Yeah, we could do that. Let me trim this down to 5.5. And then I think I need it narrower. But this piece is going to have to be glued down. I don't think I'm going to be able to raise it up without, yeah, I could still do it. No DSP. Okay, let me back up here. Bon, you're right. We do all kind of mesh together. It helps when you have like a night owl mentality, maybe. Warped sense of humor. I don't know. All right, I might have missed something Lori said. All right. I'm going to trim this even narrower. All right, because that's going to go there. This piece can come here. Raised up. I can make this a little narrower too, though. Okay. All right, so do we want the stripes up? So you like the layers at wonky angles instead of parallel. So even with the dots under there, because that's, I can do that. Or this one would look good that way too. If I cut this one down a little bit. You could do like so. So wonky on this one too. So I'll have to cut these smaller, but that's fine. That'll work. That'll show more of that white nubby specialty paper. Let me get this out of the way. There's just stuff flying all over the place here. And we didn't even have to use any of the designer series or the cardstock, although we could do the sentiment on like petal pink. Or we could emboss. We can emboss a little sentiment on here too. All right, let me cut these down a little bit. It's crazy here. All right, so that's 4 3/4. I think I need to make this narrower still. How's that? Wonky enough? Okay. So we could go the light on top with the stripes or light on top with the dots or both layers dots. That almost makes it look a little wonkier because the dots go at different angles on these 2 layers. That looks kind of cool. What do you think? Wonky dots? Okay, wonky dots it is. I'm going to start gluing. Just glue it already. Who was that saying that before, Lori? Just glue it already. Double dots it is. And then we've got the nubby from the specialty paper too. So I'm going to put a bunch of dimensionals on here because we're going to need them. And I'll pull out some little ones too. Yeah, the more you think about it, the more time I have to screw it up. Is that it? I can do that all on my own without overthinking it even. It's just paper. All right. I think these couple of other little places I need little ones. There we go. No, I get that, Bonnie. It could be anybody, not just me, but, you know, I'm kind of on display, so it's more me right now, screwing it up. All right, Juju, have you used your Take Your Pick tool yet? All right, and then I think these, if we put our sentiment right here, I don't have to worry about those so much. Yeah. We can put our sentiment across there, and I think I'll be all right. There's like dimensional backings flying here. There's paper flying. There's ink pads all over. Man, it's been a wild night of crafting. And then Macman was a little worried that I was going to be up too late. We're meeting friends of ours for breakfast, so I'll have to get up a little earlier. It just means I'll have more of an excuse to take a nap. Oh, Judah was it the one that said just glue it? Well, I do try to give correct credit, so we'll be like Judah. Just glue it. Glue it. Glue it. Oh, I don't have cardstock under there, so we're going to have to put, we're going to put something over that because I don't want to lift up all those pieces now. Oh, we'll get, I don't know, we'll figure something out. We'll go like this with a sentiment. Maybe on white. Do we want the white nubby? Put a sentiment over here. And let's see. Do we want to do the You Make Me Smile again? I'm going to have to put a couple little paper piece it. I could, but I could also cover it. It's easier. Come on. This is a new bottle of glue, too. I just don't want those flapping up in the breeze here. Getting stuck on an envelope or something. Juju's rolling her eyes. Yep, long, narrow sentiment. That's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, I'm going to leave those for right now because our sentiment might go over there. We'll see. All right, so we've got, let's see what we've got. Things to do, places to see. Taking the scenic route. That's weekend adventures. Oh, Juju, I don't even know if I want to think what you're thinking. Thinking of You is not super long. Stamp that cup, please. Let me get this design, this cardstock out of here because it's just taking up too much space. I tried to have all the colors handy. I was doing insurance stuff before I came online. I'm going to glue this down too. Sending love, okay. Sending love, where, oh there it is, I see sending love, okay. Yeah, I didn't have stuff kind of in my head ahead of time. Just, I knew from last night that we were going to use that nubby paper. And then we'll put some dimensionals on here. I just want to get some of these pieces taken care of. zoom out, please? Sorry. So sorry. I just want to get this other one, some of these pieces taken care of. I think I need one of those pokey tools for picking up garbage in the yard too, right? Like they used to have like in the parks. Didn't they have like a, does anybody remember The Odd Couple? Didn't they have one of those guys with the, did Felix used to pick up garbage with his little pokey thing? I don't remember. Well, that might be kind of cool with that. Layered there. All right. Make a pocket like that, right? All right. So let's stamp this cup. Oh, and then the cup, you can put some little words on it too. Or you could put a heart in there. So if we're going to do sending love, we should put a little heart inside the cup maybe. Yeah, I just had this Weekend Adventures stamp set. This is the one we used these flowers 2 nights ago, I think. All right, let's get, this might stamp on our Nubby White. Let's see. Should we do that in a bluish color or in the Calypso Coral? Is there a die for the cut? No, there are no dies for this. I would have to fussy cut. I'd lose those tiny stamps in no time, right? They are little. Sometimes what I do when I'm working with those little ones, I will take another block and like if I wanted to use the heart, I will put it on the heart. And if I wanted to use, oh, I don't know. Let's say we wanted to do like the X's to make X hugs and kisses sort of thing. Then I'll put them on another block so that I can keep track of them. All right, so Calypso Coral. The dots in the cup set would have worked on the bonus card to fill in the white space. Yeah, it could have. Would that have detracted from our stripes in the foliage though? I could stamp off. I could still probably put some of that on there. Or I can just get my Calypso Coral and do some splatter. That's cute. And then the heart. Do we want to do the heart in... Let's try it first in the petal pink and see what that does. It might be too light. The petal pink is pretty light for the heart. Calypso Coral is a little darker. Let me go get my Calypso Coral alcohol blends. We'll start with the lighter. Stamp the cup on the dark dot DSP. Okay. So that's light Calypso Coral on there. Let's do a couple little splatters with dark. Can you see that? Do we like that? All right, awesome. So that one's done. All right, and this is probably not quite big enough. This is, if I'm fussy cutting it. And do we want this? It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Linear, or I'm gonna do it that way, I think. That might not be quite big enough. Let's just see. Oh, you can hardly see that. The dark dots are pretty dark. And let me try it with dark ink. I did count the dots. There's 36. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, there's probably like 66. No, I didn't count the dots. Yay or nay to the cup on the dots? I don't know what I think of that. Because then we can't do the heart, of course, in the cup, because that won't work. It might look better on the designer series paper if I have a little dark or a little lighter outline. Or if we do Calypso Coral with the cup. Yeah, that's really cute with the hearts on the cup. So let's try that like so. That might work. And then we can still put our hearts on there. Yeah. And then and a little bit of shading to the side of the cup here. And then maybe a little bit of outline to the bottom of the cup. What do you think of that? Can you see what I'm doing here? Whoop. That's right, I'm gonna go to the bullet end instead of the brush. How's that? Weekend adventure. Weekend adventures. But there are no dies with this. I think this was actually in the memory keeping section for the scrapbooking, but I don't care. I like it. And then this, we could put X's on the bottom of the cup if you thought we needed that. But that might be a little overkill. Let me get my snips and let's see which one works better. Or we could use 2 mugs on here. And like I said, this paper is more like cardstock, less like designer series paper. This textured paper, I'll have to look at the package again to see what the name of it really is. I don't remember. I used to be so much better at knowing right off the top of my head what everything was called. There's that one. I love that. That is so cute. What's too much? This mug is too much? Let's see what it looks like when it's cut out. One cup could be hanging on a hook sideways and the other cup on the bottom. Hanging on a hook. Then I have to get creative with what a hook might look like. But we could slice this and get rid of that inside part. There are a lot of good ideas here. All right, so then, and that's the beauty of these 2-for cards, you know? I wonder how this one would look if it's cut out. Maybe it would look better cut out. Does that look better cut out maybe? Let me get my extra little pieces here. And all right. I need to be really careful because if I can slice my thumb on my trimmer, imagine what I can do with an X-Acto knife. That's scary, hey? Okay, what was the never mind, Juju? Just me slicing up my hand. I got Band-Aids next door. Actually, I might have some Band-Aids in my drawer here. It's been a while since I've had to put a Band-Aid on. All right, so this now I might be able to just trim. I do. I have 2 bottles of super glue. It's perfect. Because all of my adhesive from when I worked in the ER, my samples are gone, long gone. And they'll probably be hard by now anyway. There, that one doesn't look so bad now, does it? I think Bonnie was the one who wasn't sure it would look all right now. Let's trim a little bit more up around here. This one actually almost looks better with a tighter trim on the border. I usually try to leave a bit of an outline. Now, what are we thinking that hook thing? One of these has to cover up what I'm missing. You don't like it? Okay, that's fine. But it does look better cut out. I think it looks much cuter cut out. And then these hearts I think needs to be darker. Oh no, it's not good for gluing your fingers together, but it is very good for gluing cracked fingers. If you can control application. I'm going to make these just a little bit darker. That's better. All right, so Bonnie, you would put the one you didn't like on the card with the polka dots. Well, these both have polka dots, my dear. Where the white cup is, okay. You don't think that's too much polka dots? Although, if I put it like on a white circle with a sentiment, that might work. I thought you were talking about using super glue. Oh, yeah, I am. So if I have a cut, usually my thumbs crack. Every winter, my thumbs crack. So I'll just put a drop of super glue on and then I'll push the skin so that it sticks together until it dries. And then I'm good to go. It takes the pain away and everything. You just have to be careful not to go like this. All right, so you think the white cup is better. I love this little white cup. I love that one. I think that's adorable. Maybe I just need to make another white cup for the other one. And do I need to cut out the void in the handle, or are they good like that? Yeah, new skin doesn't work for me. I've tried it. And it stings like nobody's business. All right, and then sentiment. We wanted to use the Sending Love. Thanks for hanging out with us, Yuta. Hugs to you, my friend. We'll do Sending Love in your honor. Okay. All right, let's find a little nubby piece to put our Sending Love on. I think that got a little crooked. let's trim these down. I need more table space. All right, so we got a sending love here. And a sending love there. Or do we want sending love up higher? That might look better. What do we think? Let's get rid of some of this debris. What are we thinking? Cups and sentiments, are they good where they are? Move them. I'm gonna go ahead and wash some of these. You like it on the top for this one too? And then the mug over there. Now this almost looks like it needs to be backed, maybe with a piece of Calypso coral. You like the white one now, not sure about the other one? So do you think I need to do another white one? That does look pretty. The way I did it first, like with sending love down here. We have to have that lined up with the bottom of the card. We'll do another white one. And I'm just going to use these hearts that are already here, and I'm going to stamp that cup right there. Calypso coral, yep. That white cup does look so sweet, doesn't it? Then leave the sentiment at the top and put the cup at the top. Kind of like so. You don't think the cup needs to be grounded near the bottom of the card? Something has to be here though. Remember, we have to cover up my piece of designer series paper that I cut too small. Or I tilted it too far. A little above the sentiment. So this one's going to have to kind of go something like this. With the cup. Maybe like so. I got to be able to put my head over there, I think, to see. Put the sentiment down lower, then put the cup right below where the sentiment is right now. Whoops. The comments are a little delayed here, so let me move this over. And let's get some of the petal pink here. I'll finish doing some hearts. So do you think the sentiment here, cut the middle side and the sentiment underneath. So cut this in the middle. The cup, put the cup. Whew, I just caught that before the, all right, so put the cup kind of in the middle on the side, and then the sentiment underneath. So this one like so, and then the cup maybe like so. And again, I will try to get this in line with the bottom. If I move this up, we're just going to have this weird little hole here. So I'm trying to just cover that up as well. And then our cup can go there. Are we good with that? Or no? Not good with that. Anya, I'm sorry. All right, let's start with just where the cup. Where do you think the cup needs to go? Put the cup middle side or middle side, left side. And the sentiment underneath. Middle side left. Okay. So that's like so. And then the sentiment down below. Far enough that I can cover that hole. Maybe I need to have a couple of mugs on there. Sentiment towards the right. All right, the problem is now I've got that hole there where my designer series paper isn't covered. Let me cut out this other white cup. And if I paper piece a piece in there, you're going to be able to see that line. Now I might be able to put a gem in there and camouflage it, because I think I still have some more of those Timid Tiger ones that are bigger. This twofer card was supposed to be so much faster. So put the orange cup on top of the white cup and leave it right there. And then put the sentiment over the hole. That's cute. And then this one here. Okay, so no, have them switch places so that the white one is on top, you mean, Bonnie? Because I think that white one probably is cuter, isn't it? Is that what you meant by switch, or switch the white and the Calypso Coral mug? Okay, so the way they are right now, but with the white under the orange. So like that. Yeah? But both handles showing, okay. Like so. That does look more cute. Switch places, so the white one up above. So that one there and that one there. That balances it more, I think, if that's what you mean. Because you've got white, dark, white. So leave it like that. White, dark, white. Glue it, Juju says. Okay, whew. Yeah, I think if the comments were not so delayed, it might be easier for me to understand. Plus, my brain works different because sometimes I'm thinking about the very last comment I said, and you've already responded to like 2 comments ago, and I forgot what I said because that's on me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue this down so we can cover up my little blotch there where I botched it up. I think that looks pretty straight. And then I'm going to put a dimensional on here because there's a hole there. So I think that'll work. And then that one, I think I'm just going to put up on a big dimensional there. Original design by Team Collab LLBC. All right, I love it. Do we need splatter? That is really cute. It's even cuter closer up. So I don't know if I think it's cuter closer up. No splatter. Okay, I'm good with that. Yeah, Juju, you'll say splatter. But there's already polka dots all over there, and I don't want to make it look ugly either. All right. So then for this one, what do you think of that Calypso coral? Whoops, let's back this up a little bit more. What do you think of the Calypso coral behind the sentiment? Does that work? Because we've got dots on the background. I think this without anything might be a little plain. Is that a glue it like so? Glue it? Glue it. Okay, glue it. We're gluing it. We're going to glue. We're going to trim. And I'm going to put a dimensional on the left-hand side. Those are all stuck down already. And now I have to eat something before I go to bed because I'm hungry. All right. All right, and then I think we can do dimensionals near the handle. And down near the bottom. I might have to put more glue on that, but you folks don't care. All right, so if you're watching from the balcony, feel free to chime in if you like these cards. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. Let me know where you're joining from. It's always fun to see where folks are joining from. All right, so Bonnie, you went to sleep. And then your daughter came home and you end up watching me. Well, thank you. All right, now I just lost the video on that one. Oh, well. We'll just watch comments instead on this one. There we go. All right. So we've got 3 cards. Well, it wasn't all me. I was just trying to get the instructions right. You ladies help a lot. I appreciate the collaboration. And who was it that suggested Zippity Doo Dah did? All for the cup, right? Zippy suggested hashtag Team Collab LLBC. So I'm going to put that in the description for this one, I think. So let me back this up just a little bit. Here's our 3 cards. So this was our bonus card that wasn't even on my radar. That you have a cup. Oh, I know, Bonnie. It's crazy. I've been using my stuff so much more. This year I did really good. I don't know that I have any sets that I've purchased that I haven't used them doing stuff. And there's been many times where I bought stuff because I just had to have it, and then it gets retired and I look at it and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I didn't even use this, but I had to have it, you know, so I'm doing much better. So just get in there and cut your paper and use your stash and then get more when you're ready, right? Or get more when there's something you just have to have, like a little cup. I do like this one though. All righty, let me get rid of, got a lot of debris here. Man, lots going on here for 3 little cards. But I appreciate all of your help. I'm glad that didn't ink up my piece of paper there. It was fun. It was very fun. These are very cute. Oh, you don't like staying at home, Bonnie? See, when I retired in 2024, I had no problem retiring because I'm in my craft room every single day, which is so fun. So this one you don't care for, that's fine. I think it's the bright orange and the ribbon. You know, I could probably, I wonder, this is my Calypso Coral. I wonder if I colored this with the petal pink. I may try to work on that. But there's some yellow here, and if you're not an orange person, I get it. And that would look very good. I could have done it in the Lost Lagoon. Would this have been a better color option? It's not a true blue. It's more like a dirty turquoisey blue. Maybe you would have liked this one better. What do you think? Do you like that color better? I kind of like them all, but my favorite color out of all the new colors is Timid Tiger. I was not much of an orange in my crafting either. And I don't wear orange because I'm a redhead and it just doesn't look good on me. But my accent wall in my studio is actually a peachy orange, like orange sherbet color. It's not a real big wall. And then I have a floral big framed piece of art that's like a bright red with oranges. It looks really good together, I think. So you're in love with your pastel paper. January's coming. Oh yeah. Spring, baby. Spring crafting. I'm with you. Nicole, autumn, fall is my favorite season. So I'm just trying to skim right over winter. We went from Christmas right into pastels. I did quite a few fall cards though, back in the day. Green's not your forte either, Bonnie. I see that now. Oh, and Bonnie, your favorite holiday is Easter. And that goes right in with all your pastels. And a lot of the things that you shared with me, your pictures or your crafts, they're more the pastel colors too. Go with what you like. So did you like that Lost Lagoon color or not? That's a blue-ish color. Did you do your Halloween? No kidding. You did a lot of Halloween junk journal stuff, so I'm not surprised. All right. Yeah, the autumn tones would go with copper red hair. My aunt, years ago, I was young. My mother found out later in life that she had a sister that her mother had out of wedlock that she had given up for adoption. Long, crazy story. And I was an adult with children of my own before we found this out. And she lived in California and she came to meet my mom and me face to face and my sister. And she brought gifts for us. And she brought me this Merle Norman lip color. And it was like a bronzy color. And I'm thinking, I would never wear this. It's, it doesn't go with my red hair. And it was gorgeous with my red hair. My hair looks more strawberry blonde now as the white hair comes in. So it's just getting lighter as I get older. And Laura, you used to color your hair with red tones. I colored my hair once. Did I ever tell you guys about that? I colored my hair once. It was after I was done with my chemotherapy and my hair was coming in. It was about an inch, maybe an inch and a half long. And I thought it was really dark. And so I went to the store and I picked out the hair color that I thought was how my hair used to look. And I put it in and I went over by my mom and I'm like, oh, do you notice anything different? She's like, no. I said, I colored my hair. She says, it's the same color it always was. So my hair was the same color it always was. So I kind of don't count it that I colored my hair. So Bonnie, yeah, if your hair grows in blonde, what's the point? Oh, wow. See, my grandmother was a redhead and she colored her hair for a long time, but when she stopped coloring it, she was white. this little cup of mine. I will figure something out for that little cup. I will figure something out for our little cup. I'm not sure, but we'll figure something out for our little cup. All right, well, I think I need to call it a night, ladies. You probably all need to get on with your lives or your sleep or whatever. I need to, oh, you can see that, okay. I need to get some sleep. Well, we'll see. You know, I don't know what my hair will look like as I age, but I am getting white hairs. And my hair it's pretty long, actually. It almost goes to like the middle of my back. Very thin, fine hair, but I don't color it. Juju, do you have a chair that's on wheels you could maybe use as a walker to help just steady yourself? You should have some water. If you have not been drinking water between your little whiskey sips there, you should be drinking more water. Otherwise, you're going to have a hangover, woman. Here, I'll drink some water for you. Well, Bonnie, I could tell you've had your hair wrapped up, so I figured it was long. All right, Dr. Pepper, that does kind of count. Yeah, zigzag to bed. That's funny, Lori. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming on. Give me a thumbs up on your way out if you wouldn't mind. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments and suggestions. I think we made some fun cards. Oh, so that picture was old, huh? A year old? Well, that's not that old. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. Thanks for crafting with me. I appreciate it. I'm going to call it a night or a morning. It's almost 2:30 here by me in Wisconsin. So thanks for joining me. And until next time, happy crafting.